Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to all you Akim out there doing this work in sincerity and charity. With humiliation across the four winds, to you I salute. This is the brother Yahusap from the GMS Farmers Camp. Through the brief lesson, mainly an article. This article, I think, this article, concerning nuclear Salakia. This article from the World Health Organization was issued, and this article based on the catastrophic damage what could happen if you see nuclear missile or a bomb or even a nuclear facility be bombed on the ground. The damage and that could do, and the World Health Organization is preparing for a catastrophic nuclear damage if it do take place, and they hope they believe that this is going to happen, so they are preparing. So in this article, it reads, the World Health Organization has issued one of its striking warnings in recent history, and it's about nuclear war. Now they know we gonna have a nuclear war. They know the world can have a nuclear war. According to what's going on right now down there with Iran, with Babylon, and in Israel, and especially with how the straits of Hamas is closed, and then it only open to certain countries, and that's Iran highlights, not Babylon. And we know all of this can lead to this nuclear war. And it reads, so like here, let me read that first part again. So the World Health Organization had issued one of its striking warning in recent history, and it's about nuclear war. So Hannah Berkeley, World Health Organization Director for the Eastern Mediterranean, told Paleto this week that her staff are preparing for a potential nuclear incident following the U.S.-Israel Operation Epic Fury, a military campaign targeting Iran's nuclear infrastructure that begins on February 28. Now, what they want to do? Iran have a nuclear facility which mainly they use for power and other stuff. Now, the World Health Organization is preparing because they know the catastrophic damage could happen from a nuclear spill. Because if you Akim could remember with Hiroshima and Nagasaki, when Babylon dropped that nuclear bomb on them, the damage what that did there. Right now you still have people down there in Hiroshima. Where they dropped that bomb down there in Hiroshima, you get women born and babies disfigured. Some like babies born with one hand, some born with 3 hands, some born with 2 foot, 1 foot, 3 foot. Some born with like half a face. Some born with no ass. All of this is the damage from the nuclear, from the nuclear, from that bomb when they drop on Nagasaki. Even with farming in that land, they growing stuff, and you get pumpkin and thing growing, and they weighing like 200 and 300 pounds. You get potato growing bigger than man. All of this because of the nuclear, the radiation, Salakia, from the nuclear bomb, or whatever missile or whatever have you. So that's the reason why the World Health Organization is preparing, because they know it's going to be catastrophic. And what they preparing to do is to probably go in there after all of this happened, and because Babylon them, that's their plan. They plan on hitting the Iran nuclear infrastructure and try to believe they could cripple them, but they know it can kill a lot of people as well. It can kill a lot of people, and Babylon preparing to do that, but they ain't know if it can happen. But the World Health Organization is preparing in case if it do happen, and we know the damage, like I said, the catastrophic damage this will do to that place. If you see they hit that nuclear facility, and Babylon know that, they gonna kill a lot of people. They can cause a lot of disfigured people who live in wherever the radiation effect is gonna be a problem with them in the long run. And we know all of this is is prophecy through the spirit and power of Bashem Yoshai. These things can happen. These things gonna take place. Because we know World War III is gonna take place as well. And all of this is judgment from Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. This is the book of second address 15 and 12, and it reads, So Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. And we know this judgment from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And all of this is judgment. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai can bring judgment on that place when you see these nuclear facilities get strike, or they drop nuclear missile or use nuclear bomb in Iran. Like I say, it can cause a lot of damage. And the World Health Organization is preparing for that. Because they know they can gotta go in there, they can gotta treat a lot of the people for radiation from the nuclear reactors. And it further reads in the article. See the worst the worst case scenario is a nuclear incident, and that's something that worries us the most, Berkeley said. As much as we prepare, there's nothing that can prevent the harm that will come. The consequences are going to last for decades. Like I say, right there in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, they still having problems with that land. The people born in disfigured. The fruits and the vegetables, whatever could grow, they growing gigantic, and it's a lot of what you call, Salaki, it's a lot of feedback from it, a lot of from the radiation. The radiation causing a lot of problems. Things ain't natural no more. The land ain't natural. The people ain't gonna be natural. When you see that happen, it ain't can be like the same. So what the World Health Organization is preparing for us to go in there and try to probably treat who they could treat as quick as possible if they decide to hit this nuclear reactor Salakia, in Iran. Read that again. See, the worst case scenario is a nuclear incident, and that's something that worries us. This the director from the World Health Organization speaking. The most Berkeley said, as much as we prepare, there's nothing that can prevent the harm that will come. The consequences are going to last for decades. Like I say, in Hiroshima, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, where Babylon dropped that nuclear bomb. The last time when they did use a nuclear, I think that was the first and that's the last one they ever did use. The people down there, they born and disfigured. The fruit and the vegetables growing ginormic. The animals, even the animals, them having disfigured babies and what have you. The animals, them even, sick. They can't, if they, like, I don't know, like, now, but I believe that the land is still polluted with nuclear because of the things what's going on down there in the land. Things what's going on down there in the land. And we know that if they do have a nuclear disaster down there in Iran, like if they hit the nuclear reactor, things, the radiation, like I say, consequences are going to last for decades. That's a long time. So they know they're going to see people being born disfigured. They can see whatever they try to grow enormous. Even the animals, them be having disfigured animals. Babies and so forth. So it's gonna be real catastrophic. It's gonna be real catastrophic. And they're preparing for this. And it reads, the World Health Organization is preparing for the scenario in its broader sense, meaning both a strike on an Iranian nuclear facility and the possible use of a nuclear weapon. Staff are being trained on radiation response, public health protocols, and civilian protective measures. So we know, but we know they ain't gonna be able to help all of them people down there if this do happen. Because all of this is judgment from Yahweh. Like I say, from Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. This is punishment from Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And I can read that second address 15 and 12 again. And let you know that this is judgment from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Second Edges 15 and 12. So Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. Yeah, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua can bring punishment and plagues upon the land. And we know this was going to happen. We know this can happen. Because right now we know we in World War III. We deep down in World War III. In Babylon, right now I ain't got much allies with them right now. Because right now Russia and China are ready to put something on them. This is next part of this article. And it reads, so the concern is already mentalizing in one form, Salakia. Iran confirmed this week that a projectile struck the perimeter of the Butcher nuclear plant, the country's only operational nuclear reactor, to radiation leak was reported. But Russia's foreign ministry condemned it as irresponsible and warned of a potential radiational and environmental catastrophe on the scale of the entire region. So we know this is going to happen. This is this is the book The second address 15 and 49. And it reads, say, I will send plague upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, pestilence, to waste thy house with destruction and death. And we know these the things what gonna happen if you see any nuclear reactor being hit, or they blow up any nuclear reactor in any one of them land, and they'll drop any nuclear bomb or use any nuclear missile. We know it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be good for the people. It ain't gonna be good for the environment, because what's gonna happen is the people gonna be affected, and we know a lot of them they're gonna die. Who gonna die? They're gonna be sick for a long time. Even if they decide to, like I say, have kids and things, especially the women, they'll have these disfigured children. They born in all different type of luck, all different type of way. How? Because of the nuclear, the radiation from the nuclear bomb, the reactor, or the missile. However, the radiation come, but it's going to be from a nuclear destruction. We know it's going to be from a nuclear destruction. And all of this is designed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because we know this. All of this is designed. And it reads, meanwhile, cracks are forming inside the Trump administration itself. Joe Kent, director of the National Counterterrorism Center, resigned this week, stating he could not, in any good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran, adding that the country posed no immediate threat to the United States. And he got his old people in his administration going against him. He done lose all the allies. He done lose just but all the allies he lose. Now he got his people and his administration within the White House going against him. And we know when it like that what can happen. The scripture says if the house be divided, let me Salakia paraphrase it, but let me get that scripture. I don't want to butcher it. That's the book of Mark. That's the book of Mark 3. Salakia. That's the book of Mark 3 and 24. 3 and 24. So I can call you right back. Salakia. Yeah, we know that Trump right now got division in his government. He got his people ain't down with this war, what's going on in Iran. So they just leaving the administration, they resigning and they firing themselves and leaving, because even with his allies, he ain't got much of them leave. And while he fighting this war and doing what he doing, you get Russia and China just sweeping up all of the other countries and forming their own alliance, having all of the allies, and he right there. He losing this. So this is the book of Mark 3 and 24, and it reads, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. So when you see he got his people going against him for this war, they ain't down with this. So at the end of the day, he in trouble. He in all kind of trouble. He can lose Babylon. He can lose the power what he get in Babylon as well. Because we know what can happen. Babylon can be destroyed anyhow, because we know Babylon gonna be wiped off the face of the site, off the map. And we know all of this is designed, like I say, through the spirit and power of Bashmil Shai. This is prophecy. These things can happen. These things must happen. You know, but like I say, that nuclear radiation gonna do catastrophic damage to the human body, to the land. They're gonna do it to the animals. If you see, they decide to start using nuclear weapons or start blowing up these nuclear facilities in these countries, because them nuclear facilities, they some huge plant, and them things carry a lot of reactor nuclear, a lot. So if there's the blow or hit one of them or drop a nuclear missile or bomb, it gotta be catastrophic. I mean, like I say, we know all of this is designed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. All of this is prophecy through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. It's the book of Jeremiah 28 and 8. Jeremiah 28 and 8. See, the prophet that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So we know these things can happen through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. So I hope that lesson was edifying. I hope it served its purpose. Until I come back with the next lesson, Shalom.